We are aware of the budget that was read the other day together with the finance bill. We looked at the finance bill very carefully, and we also looked at the budget speech by the Cabinet Secretary of Treasury, and we noted a few areas of mismatch. And would like the government and parliament to look at these areas. One of the areas was the finance, the housing, proposed housing levy at 3%, which has since been reduced to 1.5%. As businesses, we had given submissions that we don't want anything that will increase the cost of doing business. And we gave those submissions to Parliament, we gave the submissions to His Excellency the President, and hence the reduction to 1.5%. We would like to urge Parliament to make sure that they don't do an equivalent match by the employer, because this will just push the cost of doing business up, especially coming after the enhanced Social Security NSSF Act 2013 and the proposed NHIF 2.7%. So we are urging the government and Parliament to ensure that the employers are not burdened with extra costs of doing business. We do appreciate the fact that the CS Treasury proposed a 6 billion budget. It's not the ideal situation. Would have wanted a lot more allocation into our ministry, but we noted that the 2 billion was earmarked for promotion, which means the Kenya Tourism Board and the people who are charged with destination marketing can go out there and really promote our destination. So we do appreciate the fact that there is some money to spend. We try and make the best of what we have, but at the same time, we'll be calling for increased budgets progressively, because the more we get tourists, the more we need to promote. You've had Waziri's comment about communication. We do need to keep the communication channels opened, and at times it does cost quite a bit to reach the customer, to reach the consumer, and to reach also the buyers. So we do hope that our industry is on the right trajectory, and the issues we are discussing today, mainly about resilience. There are so many areas about resilience. There's security, there's infrastructure, there's marketing, there's promotion, and then of course innovation, which now we look at how do we harness the digital space, how do we reach our customers, what products can we put out there that are not already out there in the country, and see how we can grow this industry of ours. We are on the right track, and we are confident that with stronger partnerships with the Ministry of Tourism and the government, we will be able to deliver good numbers and create the jobs that the Kenya Kwanza government is calling for. Asanteni. Will increase. Cost of doing business will increase, because I'll give you an example. Fuel, the VAT on fuel, they're doing what they're calling harmonizing. So VAT should be standard for everyone and every product. So the VAT on fuel is going up by 8%. So what that means is that you already have a direct cost on transport, which is key to our operations, because we rely heavily on transportation of goods, people, and services across. So the cost of doing business will go up. We are still waiting for the final act from Parliament, so that we determine how much is it going to affect us. What we had given in our submissions is that every time there is a budget, the government works on a June to June calendar. We work on a January to December calendar. So our contracting is done within the calendar year. So it's very difficult to increase rates mid-year, especially where you have contracts, particularly with the Europeans, because they're very strict on contracting especially for services outside. So we had suggested that every time there is an introduction of anything that will increase the cost of doing business, that it is deferred to the following year. So now we were saying whatever initiatives come out of the budget, if they can be implemented from January of 2024, it gives us enough time to plan, and it gives us enough time to communicate to our contracted parties out there that we are going to change. But it is highly likely, yes, that we are going to look at pushing that cost to the consumer once we evaluate.
And as a Mombasa County, representing Mombasa County, we know we have been hit hard by COVID the last 3 years, 4 years. Now is rebuilding on what we have lost those 3 years. And the 3 steps, the 5 steps which I've mentioned in my speech, how we're going to bounce back as a tourism industry. The first steps we said is to assess the vulnerability and hospitality of industry. We talked about the second step of developing emergency plans also. And we also discussed about preparing function of the crate. That is that step we're saying to come back from the COVID-19 epidemics. And we also talked about the fourth step, which is planning and how to communicate in crisis. And then lastly, we talked about graceful comeback from unfortunate epidemic. That is what, as a Mombasa County, I come to represent as a stakeholders. I'm happy that today being the first time, we will join with other stakeholders to discuss the issues that are affecting tourism in Mombasa, particularly in Mombasa. And now we can move it to the next step. And also we are asking the national government how they can come in and see how they will help Mombasa come back. Because we know Mombasa County 001 is a gateway to East Africa. So we're also calling for national government, please work with us as a Mombasa County. Let's ensure that we are taking back Mombasa to its glory. And also the stakeholders, so we have seen that all the stakeholders are here. We need to meet frequently, have a stakeholders meeting as Mombasa County, CC Mombasa County. I'm coming up with what we call an annual plan for the tourism, and it's through that plan that we can able to see how we can help the stakeholders. And you know,
it was passed in 2013, and it was frozen by the courts. And then it was unfrozen by the same courts 10 years later. So now it's the drink of choice is Brookside milk. That is the drink of choice. In previous years it has been Dasani. I think Brookside has slowly edged out 21 years. And we will be giving them a round of applause a bit later. DSTV business from last year and tomorrow. So if you are not able to make it by 9 o'clock tomorrow, we will understand. It's Brookside. The Kenya Development Corporation, which used to be Tourism Finance Corporation, KTB, I think from inception, Kenya Hotelier College, stakeholders in Mombasa. So it is a board that is progressive. They want to hear, make some remarks on behalf of our chairman who will be joining us later, and also invite our chief guest this morning. You can give a round of applause. This forward over the next few years. So with those many remarks, I would like to invite the KAHC, and they will be speaking to us sometime this afternoon. I can see Martin there, about the impact of the NSSF Act in areas of resilience and innovation, where he comes from. They also have a few challenges with bad weather, earthquakes, the stuff that Africans here take for granted.
Thank you very much. Another round of applause for Mr. Mohamed Osman. I've had so many things there. I think it almost